Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Irrelevant, and welcome back to Mr. Irrelevant Plays. Now, the topic for today is, are T5 ships even worth using anymore with how things are today? It is currently June 29th, 2026 at 12:15 a.m. and a lot has come out in these past few years. Some people are still using T5 ships, so the question is, are T5 ships still usable today? Well, let's go ahead and break down the several ways that you can go. There's still the OG way of going to pure, gosh dang it, the Dyson Sphere fleet tactical consoles. Then there's now the ISO mags that have been added to the game. So anything with a lot of engineering slots, you can just throw in a bunch of ISO mags on there. Of course, fleet versions, you get one extra console slot, and of course, there's still always X2ing. Like, I'll use the Tholian Meshweaver as a prime example. This is one of, if not probably, my favorite ship in the entire game. Just because, one, I'm biased, Tetrion, y'all already know, and two, Tholians, they're dope. They have done nothing wrong. But yeah, so it's just like, are T5 ships still viable today with any form of meta that is available? ISOMAG meta, Spire tactical console meta, Uncon meta. Well, let's go ahead and break it down a little bit, shall we? So with the Tholian Meshweaver as my base, I can confirm that if you go down a tactical route, oh yeah, no, you get a lot of tactical stuff. When it comes to the ISOMAG route, you do get 4 ISOMAGs, which is actually pretty good. Like, 4 ISOMAGs is a really solid amount of ISOMAGs to have. There's actually quite a few T6 ships that people use today, and they're doing the ISOMAG setup, and it's just 4. But what about Uncon? What about the ability to spam your universal consoles? Well, with the Tholian Meshweaver, for example, again, I can only get 4 Uncon procs. So you really got to play with it. So what am I doing to get the Uncon setup to work? Not only just on this character, but also on my main, because I kind of set them up pretty much literally the same in terms of like the Uncon setup for the traits and whatnot. Well, for one thing is I am always running the Crenum Chronophage, because one, the science cooldown is just very, very helpful, and with the ship having 3 science abilities for the Uncon procs, this will definitely benefit you majorly. I'm also running the Eye of Grethor, which passively has a 10% cooldown reduction on universal consoles, and of course I'm also running the Subspace Fracture Tunneling Field from the Vulcan Carrier. I mean, I've gone over this type of set before as well. If you're lacking certain types of Uncon procs, this is what you do. To hell with orders. All hands on deck. And I can confirm, any T5 ship you can do this setup with, and you'll do great things. With this character, with this setup, I've done 1.1, 1.2 mil. On my other character, with what he has, doing a Tetrion, with the Tetrion setup that he is running, I'm doing 1.3 or 1.4. So yes, T5 ships are still viable. The things that you're going to be missing out on are Miracle Worker Bridge Officer abilities, Temporal Bridge Officer abilities, Command Bridge Officer abilities, and you're going to be missing out on Intel Bridge Officer abilities. So, let me go ahead and switch back to my main. So I can let y'all see what it is that you'll also be missing out on, which, by the way, these guys do a lot. So when it comes to the T5 setup, you will be missing out on some of the best duty officers in the game. For example, 27 of 47 has been labeled the best duty officer in the entire game in terms of DPS, because 50% chance every single time a tactical ability is activated, you gain 20% critical severity, and then a 30% chance every single time you activate an intel ability, 2.5% chance that you will get a 30% chance you'll get 2.5% critical chance. And they stack, and you can run as many of them as you want, and of course, each one does different things. So you'll be missing out on stuff like this, for sure. However, these guys have been in the game for an extremely long time, and they come in very, very many different variants. So yes, the chance is a lot less, but the buffs are almost, if not just as good, depending on the rarity. And these ones stack. These ones don't. They just refresh. As far as I'm aware, they just refresh. So T5 ships, how valuable are they? Well, I would still say that they're pretty valuable, honestly. I still say you can go pretty far with them, even without, you know, any of the specialty bridge officer seatings. You can still go pretty dang far. So with that being said, will you be able to do those insanely high dumb numbers of 3 million, 4 million, 5 million DPS unless you're doing a nanny run running a very, very, very specific style of a build? No. The most that I've honestly gotten, granted I've only ever done it with Tetrion because, again, Tetrion's my favorite, is like 1.3 or 1.4 mil. And that's with the Tholian Mesh Reaver. The highest that I've gone. And I mean, yes, there are a lot of T5 ships that I do own, but like I haven't X2'd any of them except for the Tholian Mesh Reaver. Now, I do have a few ideas for a few others that I do want to X2, but that's going to take a while. Now we also have to come into the aspect of, well, what about the T5 ships that literally only has a lieutenant tactical seating? You can't really utilize beta. Well, in that case, for example, the Galaxy Dreadnought Cruiser, or the regular Galaxy. Like, look at how that's it. In that case, I would just run Beta 1 and then fire at Will 1, and then I would not use Hellbore Late and just use something else. So, like, there are workarounds. Like, I still... Like, for me, Beta is insanely important. And because, I mean, obviously because I'm running Del Rey, and of course, for me, the best duty officer in the game, Agent Nerul, from the the Delta expansion pack. But yeah, no, there's a lot you can do. I mean, heck, I've shown y'all in the ships that I've broken 2 mil in. Some of them are only using Beamfire at Will 1. And then when you use Beamfire at Will 1, combine that with... Oh, what's that one do? Where is he? This guy right here. With the 25% chance on energy weapon firing modes 1 or 2 to use 2 or 3 instead. There are workarounds. There are things you can do to make T5s work. Now, let me just go over... Oh my gosh, I'm opening like every single window except for the correct window. My gosh. So I'm going to go through some of the ships that are on here and be like, this is what I would do for like this one, for the uncon setup, of course. So this one would be the same thing as Tholian Mesh Reaver. You just have 3. Oh, no, I mean, not 3. Yeah, you would have 4. Emit Unstable Warp Bubble, Photonic Shockwave, Scramble Sensors 1, and Tractor Beam 1, or Evade Target Lock 1, whichever one you prefer. Tractor Beam has much lower cooldown than Evade Target Lock, but Evade Target Lock has, or not Evade Target Lock, Jam Targeting Sensors doesn't have a range limit. This ship would be Eject Warp Plasma, Emit Unstable Warp Bubble, and then Scrambled Sensors, and then Jam Targeting Sensors or Tractor Beam. So, like, there are things you can do, and of course, there are some ships that are, like, an exception to the rule, because they just have a lot of science. Bridge officer seating, pretty much when it comes to these older ships that are Tier 5, it's how much science can you put on there? Like this ship, for example. I mean, you have a Lieutenant Commander Universal, a Lieutenant Ensign. So that's going to be 5 science abilities, 4 of which would be uncon procs. Photonic Shockwave, Scrambled Sensors, Jam Targeting Sensors, and Tractor Beam. And then you can just throw in Photonic Officer on there for additional cooldown. And then when it comes to engineering, there's Emit Unstable Warp Bubble, and then Eject Warp Plasma. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a total of 6. That's actually pretty dang good for an escort from back in the day. Back in the day, like, I mean, if you look at some of these bridge, like this, for example, like bridge overseeing is kind of whack. It's so much engineering, but yet we, as players, made it work back then. Nowadays, we're kind of spoiled when it comes to our bridge officer seatings. So yeah, no, I still say T5 ships are definitely viable. You just got to be a little bit more creative. Got to be a little bit, tricky with it. Of course, the more science that you have, the better off that you'll be, for sure. And then I would also say, no matter what, depending on the ship, of course, the noble, gosh, if I could think straight, my goodness, to hell with orders, the intelligence agent attaché, and then all hands on deck combination for your uncon procs will become that much more important if you're going the uncon route. Now, if you're not going the uncon route and you don't even care about that, then I mean, just throw up as many isomags as you can, throw up as many Spire tactical consoles as you can, or heck, throw up as many isomags as you can with the Colony World tactical consoles, or even these tactical consoles that boost your crit chance, along with cannon damage or beam damage, then an additional crit chance. Like, there's a ton of combinations that you can do. And then for your, like, universal consoles, heck, you can throw in the Evolve console from the new event ship. You can throw in the console from the Obina, which these two consoles basically do the same thing, just one is shields and one is health. Like, there's so many different combinations you can do. And because of the fact that this one is free, like, there are tons of things you can do now. T5 ships are more viable now than they have been in a very, very, very long time. And there is still technically a lockbox T5 ship you can still get, because the current dev team said that they're not going to remove it. I'm still holding hope that they will re-add all the older T5 versions of the T6 ships we used to have, like the Ferengi Marauder, the Cardassian Galore, and more. But there still is the Hirogen Hunter Heavy Escort, which is the one T5 ship that you can get from this box that you can upgrade to T5U for free. And its bridge officer seating is 1 Commander Tactical, 1 Lieutenant Commander Engineering, 1 Lieutenant Science, 1 Ensign Universal, and 1 Lieutenant Universal. So you got a lot of universal seating they can play around with to get just a little bit of extra uncon if you're going that route. Now remember, this is only if you're going that route. And then, of course, if you got the Noble, which if you haven't, I highly recommend doing the buyout, because that ship is an amazing ship. Its trait's fantastic, and I can promise you, you would not regret it. And then, of course, obviously get intelligence agent attaché and unconventional systems. It's a bit when you're going that route. If you're not going that route, you just want just regular unconventional systems, then just get that. Both these traits are basically cost the same amount, which kind of blows my mind, because for the longest time people were honestly saying that this trait is not worth it, but it is now with the Noble trait 100%. So yeah, like, T5 ships can still be utilized. My Tholian Mesh Reaver is a prime example of T5 ships doing great, because even to this day, whenever I fly my Tholian Mesh Reaver, I will on the occasion be like, oh great, got T5 ship, this is gonna suck, and then I end up doing the most DPS. But that's just because I know what I'm doing. I have the knowledge, and again, that's why I'm doing this, to share my knowledge with the Star Trek community as a whole, and be like, hey, you can still do these things. They're super fun. They're great. Like, you don't need to go this route. You can do world's your playground in this game. So yeah, I mean, Tholian Mesh Reaver, absolutely fun. Any T5 ship you can make is totally worth it and doable. I would say all the T5 ships that are still currently available that are easy to get would be the Hirogen Hunter. Because the fact that it's automatically T5U. And for those that don't know, if you get a T5 ship and it doesn't become T5U, you do not get the Starship Mastery, which are extra buffs to your ship. So, like for example, a T5U ship gets the 1 through 4 Mastery unlock, so extra survivability, extra damage, what have you. It just won't have the trait that you can unlock. It's strictly just these passives that you can unlock with T5U. So keep that in mind for those who are able to get one from a friend or what have you. Like as you can see, wait, this is even the wrong side. Oh my goodness, I am all sorts of shuffled around. So for example, like I have 14 of these boxes on this character alone, and I would give this ship away to anyone who is new to the game because, like, hey, this is a ship that can be upgraded to T5U. This is actually a pretty decent, starting ship to at least get, your feet wet. It's not terrible. Of course, in terms of like easy to acquire ships, the Vengeance is still one of the best for sure for new players if they, don't have an event ship. For example, like this one right here. Still planning on doing that video about, being a new character with only that and whatnot, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, no, T5 ships can still be used today, especially with Uncon. If you want to do like a top tier build with Uncon, yes, you can easily go really far on T5 doing an Uncon build without actually utilizing utilizing to hell with orders and stuff like that. But of course, but Mr. Relevant, if they have a the Noble, then why would they even bother with the T5 ship? Well, there's some ships that don't have T6 versions, like the Tholian Meshweaver, and there's some people like me who has only the T5 version of a ship that does have a T6 version. Like I have the Aquatic T5 carrier. I don't got the T6 carrier. I have the T5 Tholian carrier. I don't have the T6 carrier. Like, there's stuff like that even I have. So, like, there's times where I want to fly those ships. So I have to get creative with, what I want to do with the setup. For the longest time, I didn't have the T6 Zinni Reptilian Escort. Then I finally just, pulled the trigger on spinning my Lobby to get the T6 Escort, which I think's a beast. But yeah, no, there's still ships out there that only have T5 versions. Matter of fact, there's actually a ship that I really, really enjoy that... I don't have any Lobby on this character, do I? No, I don't. There's actually a T5 ship that I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for them to add a T6 version, which if they do, they better put it in the Lobby store because that's where the other version is, and they already released a T6 version of the other ship and threw it in the lockbox. And plus, you haven't had a new Lobby ship. I'm actually going to look this up. Hold on. We haven't had a new Lobby ship added to the game. Since 2020. June 4th of 2020. So it has been over 6 years since a Lobby ship has been added to the game. So yeah, I think it's time we get a new one. So one ship that I absolutely enjoy flying because I love its design and it does not have a T6 version is the Hirogen Apex Heavy Battle Cruiser. This thing is just awesome looking. And there's no T6 version. The Escort got a T6 version, but the Battle Cruiser did not, unfortunately. Everything else that's in the Lobby store that is a T5 ship has the T6 version. Except for the Hirogen Battle Cruiser. So yeah. Gemini Dreadnought. When was this added to the Lobby store? Was this always in the Lobby store? Did I just forget? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, no, it was. Yeah, so it looks like there is another T5 ship you can still get. That's the Gemini Dreadnought carrier. That thing's awesome. But yeah, no, T5 ships can still be utilized today. You just, you know, you gotta just have to be a little bit, you know, you have to finesse it. Pretty much is the best way to put it. You gotta like finesse it, get creative. Like I could take, let me see, let me look at the. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 uncon procs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 uncon procs as well. So yeah, I mean you have to get a little bit creative with these too, but let's see, what about the Glore? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, I mean a lot of order ships is gonna be like 5, 6. If you're wanting to do like a tactical style build for like cannons and beams. I'd say 4, 5, or 6 is gonna be like your uncon limit. 6 being the highest, but not very many will have it. But yeah, no, you can, if you're going the uncon route, you still can. You just gotta get creative with it. And plus, I'm not gonna lie to you, the to hell with orders combination with unconventional systems, and like for example, the Ambassador T6 Ambassador, um, like I mean, y'all saw how many uncon procs you can really put on this thing, which I don't. But if you were to max out the uncon procs and throw in hell with orders. Your universal consoles are gonna be active pretty much all the time. The reason why I don't do it is because I can't keep up with it. But yes, T5 ships can be utilized in the current play pool, the current meta, and still keep up. But again, unless you're doing a very specific style of build, you're not going to be doing like 3-4 million unless you're having an Annie. I can already confirm you can easily push 2 mil. I mean, not 2 mil. You can easily push 1 mil. No problem with the T5. I do it with this thing all the time with the Tetron setup. Pretty much every single time I go in the hive, I'm doing like in between 1 mil to 1.2 mil. Every time. On occasion, I'll hit 1.3 and 1.4. But yeah, like I said, my record on this exact ship with this setup, with this bridge after seating, my highest is like 1.4 mil, and I have hit 1.3 on a regular basis. So it is doable. T5 ships are still able to keep up with T6 ships today. So yeah, and I actually have a plan for one of the T5 lockbox ships that you can still get today. So stay tuned for that. That one's going to be interesting. If I remember correctly, I'm only really going to be able to use Beta 1 and Firewall 1. But my goal is to break a mill with that thing, which I know I can. If I can break a mill with nothing but beams on a unupgraded T6 4-gun Dreadnought, really just doing a pure beam build, because someone dared me to and I broke like 1.2. I can do it with that ship. I'm not worried. But yeah, no. T5 ships can still be used today. You just have to get creative. Really got to sit down and think and figure out like what you'd want to use, what you'd want to sacrifice, what type of traits you'd want to throw on your ship, what type of traits you don't want to. You know, you really have to get creative with it. And I can say I think that I did a really good job with combining both with these 2 starship traits with just 1 personal trait, and then, well, technically 2 personal traits with unconventional systems with the uncon build. So yeah, no, it can be done. It's doable. So don't let people sit there and say, "Oh, T5 ships can't keep up with T6." They can. They can't go as high as T6 ships, but they can keep up. I've done it. I mean, I actually recorded me doing a T5 run. And I did record it. I was going to upload it, but then I decided not to. Is it this one? Wait, this is the one that we're currently on. Why is it showing up? Oh, because I'm actively recording it. Was it this one? Hold on. No, this is my World Razor. Like I said, I'm starting to record my runs now on a more basis so I can have them as archives, and then if I want to upload them, I will. But yeah, no, T5s are doable. If you guys want to see me do a T5 run, please let me know in the comments because I will happily do it. I love flying this thing. Like if there's a T5 ship that if there's a T5 ship that you own, if I just so happen to have it, I'll put a build together. I can't guarantee that I'll have it T5 viewed, and I cannot guarantee you that it'll be X2'd or even X1, but I'll put something together and I'll see what I can do with it, with what I have, and I'll go from there. But anyway, God bless. I'll see you all in the next video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful and fantastic day.